Well, Henry, peacemaker, apostle, and saint, what sort of half did you have?
Oh, we did the usual sort of thing. Took the caravan to a spot near the Broads. The weather wasn't too splendid. But as I was telling St. John, I think it was, there was one rather exceptional experience. To tell you the truth, I've never seen anything quite like it. Fanny actually wrote a small sort of prose poem about it.
Really? I didn't know Fanny wrote.
Oh, yes.
But listen, on that subject, I must tell you, I've finished.
Finished?
The novel, Old Cheese.
Oh, Mark. Well, congratulations.
Thanks, Henry. Of course, it's still in the first draft, but I feel in my guts that it is the first draft of the final version and damn near the thing itself, actually. Because of the way it happened, you see. What I did was I put everything that I'd previously written into a box, round about 3,000 pages, and lugged it into the cellar and started again, completely from scratch. Just me, the typewriter, and a carton of paper. Oh, I was quite frightened, actually, but it was all perfectly simple. No strain, no effort. Almost no thought, just a steady, untaxing, continuous flow of creation. For a whole week. It was the closest I've ever come, Henry, probably ever will come, to a mystical experience.
Oh, I envy you. I once tried to write a novel. But as Fanny said, my forte, if I have a forte...
But the thing is, though, it proves to me that I'm a novelist. And the doubts I've had since Camellia left, and then worst of all, Henry, worst of all, the envy. I mean, I read the reviews, seen the photographs of other novelists, the real ones that get published. People I knew had been up with. Dear God, there was a man at Trinity, an absolute imbecile. His second novel came out last month. Well received, too, and when I saw his face in the middle of some interview he'd given, that same imbecile face with a smirk added that I used to see sitting opposite me in hall, yeah, well, I better not go into what I wanted to do to him. And all these women that are being published everywhere, Henry. I mean, everyone but me. Well, I mean, that's what I was beginning to think, as if they'd got something through some genetic accident, like an extra gland or double joints that I hadn't, and that they could do it again and again. And, well, I was working away like some drudge, some lunatic drudge who'd given up his wife and child and hours of his life, and would go on, drudging through thousands and thousands of pages, not one of them publishable, to the end of my life. So I suppose what I've discovered at long last is, well, come on, let's use the word, my talent. I mean, perhaps it's been growing down there in the dark all this time, and finally it's strong enough to take over, eh? Anyway, all I've got to do now is a bit of pruning, no doubt some tightening up, and correct the spelling and typing errors, and float an extract or two in Nigel's currently fashionable little magazine. I have been promising him for years.
All clear, then?
What? Oh, good heavens, St. John, yes, I'd forgotten you were still out there.
No, I enjoyed it. And to tell you the truth, it seems to have cleared my head.
Oh, good.
Hello, Mark.
Hello, St. John. Did you have a good holiday?
Oh, yes, terrific, thanks, terrific. And how were they?
Who?
Camellia. And little Tom, too. Well, weren't you going to see them over the half-term?
St. John, I would be awfully grateful if you would stop referring to him as Little Tom and Little Tom, too. It makes him sound like something out of the workhouse.
Oh, right.
No, actually, no, they were unavailable. He was recovering from mumps or so, Camellia claimed. So she took him to a friend's to convalesce. They have a cottage by the sea. And, of course, I couldn't offer him that, could I?
But what a pity that I didn't know you were stuck in Cambridge over the half. We could have got together.
Hi, Anita.
Hello, Anita.
Hello. Anita, my dear.
I say, you're swelling along pleasantly, rapidly, too.
But you look... I mean, in just a week. Good Lord.
Well, it's taken a bit longer than a week, St. John.
No, I mean...
Just like Fanny, nothing shows for ages, and then one day, suddenly there it is for the world to see.
How's Nigel getting on in New York?
Oh, he decided not to go. He suddenly became convinced. He had a dream or something that I'd spawned prematurely. So he stayed at home and mugged up on all the texts. Spock for practicals, Blake and D.H. Lawrence, and some Indian writer he's discovered and is going to publish for significance. Which was lovely for me, as I didn't have to go to my parents. I spent most of my time in the bath reading thrillers. It was lovely.
I wish I'd known that you were here. So was Mark, as it turned out, weren't you, Mark? We could have got together. But it's good to be back in a way, isn't it? I mean, after a good holiday, of course.
Tell him I'm going to give him a ring. I've got something for him at last.
You don't mean you finished your novel?
Yes.
Whoa, how wonderful.
Oh, Mark, really? He'll be so thrilled. He keeps refusing to phone you because he says it's like soliciting.
Hello, Derek. You had a good half? I've seen you already, haven't I? I'm sorry if I was a bit off colour. I don't know what was the matter with me. Oh, Lord, what have you done to your chin? You do get in the wars there, don't you, old man? Was it shaving?
Derek, are you all right?
Yes, thanks, yes. Well, apart from finding out I won't be joining you as a full-time member of staff. In fact, my hours are going to be cut by over a quarter, which won't give me enough money to survive on. Furthermore, I may not have any hours at all next month, so I'll probably be leaving you then.
Leave? Oh, no. That's rotten.
I'm very sorry. I blame myself. I should have explained more fully. But you were out of the room so quickly.
Look, we must have a word with Thomas, with Eddie. I mean, we can't just let him be chucked out like this. I mean, Henry, perhaps you would speak to them on our behalf.
Yes, Henry, you will, won't you?
Yes, of course. I'll do my best. But whatever happens, Dennis, it's no reflection on your teaching. None at all.
No, I know it isn't, and it's Derek, by the way, Henry. That's life, isn't it? That's the joke. How hard I've worked. Well, I mean, old Quartermaine here. Well, according to one of the Swedes I'm not allowed to mention because it's a fraction on the unethical side, he sometimes sits for a whole hour not speaking, even in dictation classes. When he does condescend to speak, he goes off into little stories about himself they can't make head or tail of.
A Swede, did you say? Oh, well, what does he look like?
Oh, what does it matter? Everybody knows that for you, one Swede is like another German, one Greek is like another Italian. You can't tell them apart and you don't know what they're called. Unlike me, you see, because do you know what I do? I memorize their names before their first class, and I study their faces during it. Then I go home and I close my eyes and practice putting the two together so that by the second class, I know every one of my students personally. And do you know what else I do? I keep a lookout, not only during term time, but also during my holidays, my unpaid holidays, for any item that might interest them for British life and institutions. And I actually make a note of them here, in my notebook, which I keep in my pocket. Especially together with any out-of-the-way idioms and interesting usages I might happen across. And do you know what else I do? But what does it matter what else I do? Because that's what I mean by joke or life or whatever it is. Because I'm the one that's facing the bush and you're the one that's on permanent. I don't begrudge you. It's just that I reckon that I've earned it. Look, I don't mean... I mean the last thing I mean...
Hello, Melanie, my dear.
Hello, Melanie.
Hello, Melanie.
Hello, Melanie. Have a good half. How's your mother?
Yes, how is she?
She's dead. She died last Tuesday.
Oh, Melanie, I'm so sorry. So sorry. Was it another attack, my dear?
No, she fell down the stairs and broke her neck. We still don't know quite how it happened. It was after I'd gone to bed. Nurse Grimes found her there in the morning. I still hadn't got up. The first I knew of it was Nurse Grimes calling me. And that's really all there is to tell. I'd be grateful if we could dispense with condolences and that sort of thing. What I really want most of all at the moment is to get on in the usual fashion without any fuss.